Hi, my name is Matt, and I would like to introduce you to Astronaut training process. Currently, I work as a research collaborator with the European Space Agency on topics related to Moon and Mars village concept. I'm a Bioastronautics researcher, pilot engineer with a science background. Astronaut training process is divided in four different categories. You will learn about the theoretical aspects and then the practical applications, like extravehicular activities in the neutral buoyancy facility, International Space Station robotics and operations, maintenance, and also about the spacecraft and aircraft design and operations. As you can see, astronaut training is a very broad topic, and let's dig a little bit in each of these categories. Astronauts are familiar with their bodies. We use multi-axis tools and vertical treadmills in order to simulate different environment conditions, like microgravity, 1/3 gravity, and 1/6 gravity that you will encounter on different celestial bodies. We also train the astronauts in aerospace engineering. That includes the control theory, spacecraft design, rocket science, in order for them to know about the practical applications of the aspects of the spacecraft that they are going to ride. We also train the astronauts in aerobatics and aviation to be familiar with the high G and micro G environment and acceleration that they will encounter on the re-entry and ascent, on the aircraft operation in the stressful condition. This is the most important thing. We also train the astronauts in biology and bioengineering. That includes the plant cultivation, hydroponics, aeroponics, and DNA slicing sequencing, because most of the experiments that they are going to perform on the International Space Station is related to bioengineering and biology field. We also train them on the chemistry and material science. We also train the astronauts on the theoretical aspects, like orbital mechanics, atmosphere science, also with the photography, and which is one of the most important part, the Russian language, because on the International Space Station there are two languages, English and Russian, and astronauts spend around 1,000 hours in the classroom in order to get knowledge about different culture and language. They also train with the engineering, robotics, mechanical and software engineering. We train the astronauts in geology, how to take samples, how to secure the samples, how to drill without any contamination, how to document the environment, and how to document the samples. We also, together with Agata, and I think that she was going to give the next talk after me, we built a habitat in Poland in order to measure different and in order to have different conditions like isolation. We equipped the habitat in the hydroponics and aeroponics cultivation, bio and chemistry laboratory. We test, like the real astronauts, we test psychology of isolation, social group dynamics, and geology. We also train the astronauts in medicine, emergency medicine, radiology, and space medicine. You will be familiar with the hypoxia effects and then basic dentistry. Astronauts need to stay fit because every day on the International Space Station they spend 2 hours each on the training devices in order to exercise to prevent bone and muscle loss. Astronauts need to be very good public speakers because they will work as advocates, science and space advocates, to raise the public awareness together with the artists and to communicate people about the science field. They spend around 1,000 hours in the simulators like Soyuz simulators when they are familiar with the fire emergencies, decompression emergencies, ascent, descent procedures, and berthing and undocking procedures to the ISS. They also need to learn about the sea survival and how to scuba dive, because you cannot predict whether in different kind of emergencies you may encounter or land on the ocean, and you need to survive for a while. You also be familiar with the aspects of the free fall and microgravity, and we use the aerodynamic tunnels to simulate this kind of environment. You also be trained as a spacesuit with the spacesuit, which is a very iconic thing for the astronauts. And this stiff and very rigid, especially if we are thinking about the pressurized spacesuit, and you need to know how to operate the different devices on the spacecraft with the pressurized spacesuit. We also train the astronauts with the upper atmosphere experiments and science. This is the stratospheric balloon that we sent in order to take microbial samples from the upper atmosphere, and also to learn about the ELFs, which stands for extremely low frequencies. You need to also train and work in collaboration and together with the other colleagues, and you will learn how to do that. You will also meet other astronauts and space shuttle astronauts, and also from the moon, also moonwalkers. But you have to remember that you are never walking alone, and you will encounter people from different countries and different backgrounds and different cultures, and you need to understand and collaborate together in order to create a coherent teamwork and collaboration. Because from the space there is no, you cannot see any borders. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. I'm really looking forward to meeting you guys. Thank you very much. Goodbye.